the donkey of the day.
That's time for the donkey of the day. That's pretty fun.
Charlemagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Hey, donkey of the day for Thursday, December 14th goes to NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley. Now, Charles Barkley called in the ESPN Radio's Garlic and Wingo show yesterday, and he was asked about LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball signing one-year contracts to play basketball in Lithuania. Let's hear what Charles Barkley had to say.
He represents everything that's bad about sports. It's all about him. I just feel bad for those kids because, everybody talk about he might be a good father, this and that. No, he's not. He's just exploiting his kids. He's all about big baller brand. He has no foreseeable talent. He's trying to make money on his kids. And I just feel sadness for those kids because they're going to do whatever he tells them to do. And I just don't like the guy at all, plain and simple. And don't tell me he's a good father. Just because you exploit your kids trying to make money because you have no talent, that does not make you a good father.
I can't tell you how much this disgusts me, all right? Charles Barkley, you should be ashamed of yourself. First of all, I have no idea why some of you Negroes are so invested in Lavar Ball and his family losing. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. That man is betting on himself, betting on his family, trying to establish his own brand so he can be Nike, so he can be Adidas, so he can be Reebok, instead of just working for them. And some of y'all Negroes really have a problem with that. How can you say this man is exploiting his own kids? How can you say this man is trying to make money off his own kids? Let me ask you a question, Charles. What is Lavar doing that a white agent wouldn't be doing, or a white manager, or the white executives at these sneaker companies? Would you be more comfortable with them being exploited by white corporate executives? Would you be more comfortable if white corporate executives was making money off them? I'm really confused by this. He said Lavar is trying to make money off his kids because he has no talent. What talent do these white corporate executives have? Huh? The NBA, these sneaker companies, these sports agencies are all full of talentless executives making money off people way more talented than them. Why is it business as usual when the white executives do it, but exploitation when Lavar is doing it? Can somebody please ask Charles Barkley the difference for me? Because I really want to know, all right? Charles Barkley said Lavar Ball is all about the big baller brand. So what? So what? The man explained to you why he wants to start his own brand and why they didn't just run out and sign an endorsement deal with a sneaker company like everybody else does. It's simple math. He talked about it here on The Breakfast Club yesterday. Let's hear it. Coming from the hood, how hard is it to turn down the money that I'm sure is offered to you by sneaker companies? Because
it's not hard to turn down if you got a bigger vision.
Got you.
See, these guys will tell you, okay, we're going to give you $10 million. And don't tell you they made $500 million off you.
Mm.
So now when they give you a 50% raise and give you $50 million, you be like, oh, shoot, they done paid me. That's why they all get stuck at that endorsement deal at $200 million. Oh, we're going to give you $20 million to start. 5 years go by, you do something. Now they say, you know what, we're going to give you $200 million. Not telling you, we made that in the first year.
Right. I feel like this model is something that would change the relationship between NBA players and sneaker companies forever. Because I feel like this could have been done.
Oh, it's going to be changed. Yeah, that's all we want to do is set that ripple effect, man. We out there. We just want to make you at least think about it instead of just running in this same lane that everybody been in for the longest.
What's the problem? So you mad at that man because he's playing a legacy game? Because he's trying to set his family up to be wealthy for a long time by attempting to be the next big sneaker company instead of being the next big Negro signed to a sneaker company? How can you say he's trying to make money off his kids when I'm sure he's already turned down endorsement money from sneaker companies? If it was all about the money, he would have gotten an endorsement deal already, but he's playing the long game. Legacy, legacy, legacy. Why is that a problem? Now, this is what I hate more than anything. Say what you want about this man's business decisions, but how are we going to keep saying this man not a good father? Listen to what Charles Barkley had to say about Lavar's fathering skills.
First of all, I wish there was a place farther away from America they could send him. I would never leave my kids over there. If he's a legit father, he should stay over there with those kids the entire time. That would prove something to me. People are going to say he's a great father. Well, stay over there with those kids. I would never send my 2 teenage kids to Lithuania and then show back up in the United States the next day. I would stay with my kids if I was a good father.
What evidence do we have to say that Lavar Ball is a bad father? He's a bad father because his son is listening to him. His kid's not on drugs. They're not selling drugs. They're not out robbing people. They're not in and out of jail. As long as we've been hearing about this family, the worst thing we've heard about these kids is Jello stealing a pair of shades out of a store with his teammates at UCLA. We haven't seen these kids be disrespectful to people. I mean, other than Lonzo disrespecting Nas a little, but you know what I mean. All right, all these young boys are getting paid to do what they love to do, which is basketball. Lavar has instilled discipline and work ethic in those boys to get them to this point, and we say he's a bad father? We are begging these young boys to not listen to their dad. As much slack as black fathers get for not being in their kids' lives, now we have a black father who is micromanaging his son's lives, and people have a problem with that. Charles, Lavar don't have to prove nothing to you. That man has been raising these kids, feeding these kids, guiding these kids since birth, got them to this point, and now all of a sudden he has to stay in Lithuania to prove to you that he's a good father. Well, who are you? These niggas, man. Now, here's the thing that really disappoints me about what Charles Barkley said. Listen to this.
And I just don't like the guy at all, plain and simple.
Play that again, man.
And I just don't like the guy at all, plain and simple.
You just don't like the guy at all, plain and simple. He said he just don't like that guy. Well, Charles Barkley, house Negroes usually don't like field Negroes, so that's understandable. But I have never heard you say you don't like someone who is actually a threat to the black community. I've heard you make excuses for police officers who are killing unarmed African Americans. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw him campaigning for Doug Jones this week. I didn't even hear him say he straight up don't like Roy Moore. I've never heard you say you straight up don't like Donald Trump. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me, but why are you so quick to denounce another black man and say you don't like him simply because he's challenging the system? Please give Charles Barkley the biggest hee-haw.